Hello everyone, I'm Amari, and today Dragon Age just released another video of Veilguard. This is about the game progression. Things to do like how your character developed the companions, items, abilities. So it's a short 10-minute video and we'll get kind of like a preview on gameplay if you're still unsure about the game based on combat or maybe progression of your character. Hopefully this will clear some things up. I know there's some people that are outright not going to play it at all, and that's totally fine. It is completely different from the previous games, and I totally sympathize. I'm here mostly for the story and the companions anyways. The gameplay just looks, it looks fun to me because I like action RPGs, but I know that's kind of a letdown for a lot of people. They wanted more of the Dragon Age Origin style, which was closer to a CRPG, which has actually kind of made me want to play Dragon Age Origins again. I haven't touched the game since university, so I might just. I know I probably won't finish it in time for Veilguard, but at least to just, I don't know, sink my toes into it again. Anyways, I'm talking way too much. Let's get into the game progression.
I'm HeyAmarii, a producer at BioWare. Let's take a look at game progression in Dragon Age the Veilguard. In this video, we'll cover skill progression,
I see Valara on there,
and companion progression. My goal is to build a rogue assassin who darts around my enemies and strikes them down with poison blades. In order to craft this build, I'll need to invest in the right skills, find and upgrade gear, and ensure my companions complement my strategy. Let's start by looking at skill progression. As you complete missions, find codex entries, explore the world, and kill enemies, you'll level up your class. Each new level grants more health and unlocks skill points.
Let's
the
look at these
Constellation
skills.
Skill tree is where you spend points to unlock new skills.
Oh, I see burst control.
Each class has a unique skill tree and can specialize in a specific form of combat. Specializations unlock at level 20. Rogues can specialize as saboteurs, Veil Rangers, or duelists. I'm going to build toward the duelist specialization, which emphasizes agility and poisoning enemies with necrotic damage. There are 4 types of skills.
I like that. If we go back here, wait, where is it? So it's like you're building a pathway, so you can't just like, you can either go burst and control and go into Veil Ranger, or sustain and control and be more of a saboteur, duelist and sustain and go into sustain and control and go into saboteur, or burst and sustain and go into duelist. I kind of like that because it's like it synergizes more. You're not just going to be all over the place. It does give you kind of like a pathway of things that make sense for your specialization. So it takes some of the, I guess it does take away some of the agency of like you wanting to just build however you want. But at the same time, I'm sure this creates a better flow, that things make sense. Like the abilities make sense for what your character is going to specialize in. Like your duelist character is probably not going to do certain things. And if you get that, it's kind of like, it's not going to make sense for how they trained. I don't know. What do you think?
There are 4 types of skills: traits, passives, abilities, and ultimates. Traits are activated by button combos. The Riposte trait launches a powerful counterattack after a successful parry or defend. Passives are skills that are always active. The Death's Blessing passive gives you plus 10% necrotic damage. Abilities are actions you trigger during combat. With the Toxic Dash ability, you dash toward your target to land a deadly blow.
How useful is necrotic going to be?
This also applies
for Darkspawn. Like this seems to be heavily Darkspawn based,
when we get to companions.
Right?
And finally, ultimates are high impact, large
Murder
attacks
of crows
that take longer to charge up, but create devastating amounts of damage.
It's gonna be a ton of rogue Antivan crows.
I have access to a unique ultimate ability called a Murder of Crows. I'll unlock this ability and then switch over to my character screen to equip my new ultimate. You can swap out your abilities and ultimates anytime you're not in combat. You can also enhance your abilities with enchantments, but we'll get to that in part 2. By leveling up, unlocking new skills, and choosing a specialization, you can start to design your ideal playstyle. But this is only the beginning. In part 2, we'll talk about item progression.
End it now.
The rogue's looking kind of fun, though.
Your character Rook can equip up to 9 items. Each class has their own main hand, offhand, and alternate weapon. For example, my rogue has a sword, a rapier, and a bow for
This is
ranged
tempting
attacks.
for me. The
You also
rogue is
have
tempting.
a helmet, armor, a belt, an amulet, and 2 rings. You can acquire items in 2 ways. The first is by visiting vendors and faction stores. The higher you raise your reputation with each faction, the more items become available for purchase. The second way to acquire items is simply by finding them in the world. For example, while exploring the Necropolis halls,
look at
I
this
discovered
place.
a new main hand weapon, the Enchanted Long Blade. Every item
That's
has stats
awesome.
and properties, as well as a rarity, ranging from uncommon to rare, to epic, to legendary. This
It's
uncommon
clear.
item has high physical damage.
It's clear that this video is really trying to appeal, or the marketing they've done is really trying to appeal to a new audience. Like the people that have played RPGs like this before, or the previous Dragon Age games, they'll know this stuff. This is trying to appeal maybe a younger market, new players who have never considered Dragon Age before. I'm not mad about it. They're really, it's at the end of the day, they're still trying to appeal to create new fans. You know, you want new fans. You want to increase the size of your community. So I get it. It also probably speaks to the way the game development direction has gone, that they realize we are aging. I am sorry to tell you guys, we are aging. And so they need to bring in, you know, more people, younger
stagger
people.
stats, along with a property that deals plus 20% final attack damage, making the final blow and attack chains more powerful. Perfect for my melee-focused assassin build. But what if I want to make it even
It's
better?
so pretty. I love
At the
this.
heart of item progression is
lighthouse
the Caretaker's
base.
Workshop. The Caretaker is a mysterious entity
Oh, it's
that
the
has set up shop in your
Caretaker.
home base, the
The
lighthouse.
guy in the boat.
I go where I am needed, dweller. Now, I am here.
Here you can upgrade item stats and enchant your items. The workshop has its own rank, 0 to 10. You can increase this rank by finding caretaker mementos out in the world, or buying them at shops. The higher the rank, the better your upgrades.
How long is this game
When you
gonna
upgrade
be?
an item, you'll spend the required resources,
Because
and that item will get a
upgrading
stat
shops,
increase. At
that's
the
an
same time,
investment.
its level will increase by 1 until it matches your current Caretaker's Workshop rank. A higher rank unlocks new enchantments. These can be applied to an item or ability, imbuing it with a unique property. For example, I can enchant my main hand weapon with plus 25% more stagger to quickly set up enemy takedowns. I'll also add an enchantment to one of my abilities, Toxic Dash, to increase its crit damage by 25%.
Okay, so that just seems like an unlockable thing rather than gathering items. That appeals to me. I hate farming for materials. I absolutely hate it. This is just, you have to only level up the shop. This is a point for me, by the way. You just have to level up the shop and then you can mess around with it, whatever enchantments they have. Maybe not for every shop, I'm not sure, but for me, this is appealing because I hate farming for, like, oh, I want a poison damage sword or enchantment for my sword, and now you have to go farm like 30 different herbs. I'm not gonna do that. I hate it. So I'd rather, this is me.
Your
This is my
companion's
style.
items can be upgraded and enchanted as well. More on that in part 3. But the
Oh,
workshop
never
rank,
mind. I saw it. Oops.
enchanted as well.
I saw it.
More
Where
on
is
that
it?
in part 3.
Materials. I take it all back. Grindy time.
But the workshop rank affects more than just the items you bring to the shop. Anytime you find or buy a new item in the
I was
world,
excited
its
for a moment
level
there.
will match the current rank. So if your current rank is 1, new items you find will be at level 1. But if your current rank is 5, new items will be at level 5. And if you find or purchase a duplicate of an item you already own, 2 things happen.
Prepare yourselves.
What can you do?
First, The
Who's
level of
this
your
guy?
existing item will jump up to match the Caretaker's Workshop rank, increasing its stats.
Oh, I like
The item will also be empowered, unlocking a property and increasing its rarity.
That's cool.
Buying a duplicate of my offhand weapon, the Duelist Blade, bumps up the blade's stats, unlocks a property that applies necrosis to
Significantly.
enemies I hit with riposte, and changes its rarity from uncommon to rare. So it's a good idea to keep leveling up your Caretaker's Workshop, because the higher its rank, the better your items will be, whether you're upgrading them at the workshop or finding them out in the world. Another item type you can find or buy are runes. Each rune provides a passive bonus to your build, as well as an active bonus you can trigger. Up to 3 runes can be slotted into Rook's Lyrium Dagger. I'll slot
All
in
the
this
damage
Scorch
types.
rune,
Do
which
it.
allows my otherwise necrotic focus build to deal out fire damage. But skills, items, and upgrades aren't the only elements of creating your build, because in the Veilguard, you're not fighting alone. In part 3, we'll talk about companion progression.
I'm also interested in this one. Because we're so disconnected from them in this one. We're more of Rook than
Each
Also
companion
the
has their own
companions.
skill tree and unique items.
that
They can be
outfit.
equipped with a main hand weapon, an offhand weapon or keepsake,
Emmerich's
armor,
outfit was
and a
like
trinket.
was a sleigh. Look at that. Fancy. Like it.
They can be equipped with a main hand weapon, an offhand weapon or keepsake, armor, and a trinket. Some gear, such as this Corvid cloak on Lucanus, can enhance my character's build. In this case, applying bleeding or necrotic damage whenever I detonate an overwhelmed target. And at the Caretaker's Workshop, I can upgrade and enchant companion items just like Rook's gear. Let's upgrade Lucanus's Corvid cloak to level 5.
Ugh, the materials.
Greatly
the material
increasing
cost.
its bonus ability damage,
I
and
don't like it.
enchant it with +1 maximum stack of necrosis. Companions also have their own skill trees, so as they level up, you can spend points to unlock skills that complement your own.
This is gonna be like a
Some
100-hour
abilities
game.
can serve as primers, applying status effects to enemies such as sundered, overwhelmed, or weakened. Other abilities are detonators, combining with primers to create powerful detonations on status-afflicted targets. You can swap out companion abilities anytime you're not in combat, just like Rook. In some cases, you'll want to spec companions with abilities that can fill in for weak spots in your build. For example, if I know I'm going to face a horde of Darkspawn, which are resistant to my Rook's necrotic damage but weak against fire, I'll want to bring along a companion like Davrin, who has powerful fire abilities. I'll also bring Nev, who can detonate
Nev.
targets that I've primed. First, I'll use Davrin's Asan's Strike ability to inflict fire damage and knock down his Darkspawn. Next, I'll rush in with Toxic Dash to prime a target with the Sundered status. And finally, I'll use Nev's Icebreaker ability on the Sundered enemy to detonate it. In other situations, such
There
as this
is
battle
strategy.
against
I like
undead,
this. I like that
wanna
you have to
max out
prime
my
it and
necrotic
then
damage
detonate.
potential. I can accomplish that by bringing along Lucanus, a fellow rogue whose gear and abilities increase the amount of necrotic damage I can deal out. Our progression systems allow you to finely tune your skills, gear, and companions to create the perfect build.
I love Nev's voice. It's so good. Okay, so it's nice that Dragon Age is giving us like these little updates. Like BioWare is really heavily marketing the game. I think they realize that, you know, not a lot of people are happy with their direction, and they're basically pleading for a chance to show you what they've been creating, and you know, I want to give them a fair shot. I'm not going to base my judgment on these little marketing tools that they've been using. They're really trying to showcase their passion, their work in the project, and I'm gonna take that. Like I'm seeing the good and the bad, the things that I wish would have happened and the things that I'm happy are happening. But yeah, like everyone is going to have their opinion on whether they're going to even touch this game or not. not, and that's totally fine. It's fine that some people are gonna not even think about the game anymore, like Dragon Age is dead to them. And there are others that are excited for this, to continue the journey with your favorite companions in your favorite world, and that's valid as well. And we're the ones that are excited. I'm excited for the world. But yeah, like I still understand, because even while watching this, I still have a few concerns with. I also wish there was another Dragon Age origin, but at the same time, I'm also excited for what's new, like the new style of Dragon Age, where they're going. Like, I like seeing things evolve and change with the times and with their community. So maybe this is what the community wanted, maybe it's not, but we're gonna see. The world is beautiful. You can't deny that no matter what, the world is beautiful, and that's what I'm really excited for. So I'm glad that we got a little bit more out of where our characters will progress and how to do combat. I mean, it's gonna be easy for people who have played RPGs before, but for someone that's just, this is who they're making the video for. The people that have never picked up a game like this, they're really trying to grab those people's attention and say, like, look, Dragon Age is great. We have 3 other games that you can go back to and that create this beautiful world before you. This is how combat works. Try it out. Like, that's who they're trying to appeal to. And you know, for people that are excited to play Veilguard, this is like a nice little teaser for us that's getting us more and more excited for launch day. So let's see what else they come up with. I'm excited for their video that's supposed to come out, that's supposed to showcase the companions. I think I don't know who told me that. Someone told me they're gonna have a video out that showcases the companions, because that's what I'm really excited for. More than anything, I want to see that. So let's get that before too long. Anyways, until the next one, guys, until the next showcase that Dragon Age drops, take care.